you get into a relationship with a woman because you're kind of like, oh, this could be fun. Like I could enjoy this. But then at some point, like the honeymoon's over. And then it's
Mm-hmm.
like, how much did you really want this? How committed are you to this on the bad days? Because I feel like, you know, there's days that there's nothing I would rather do than go to jujitsu. And even when I want to, sometimes my body is like, nah. You know, and there's
Yeah.
days that it's just like I just can't. Same thing with real estate, you know, like business, investing, all that kind of stuff. The hammer and the nail, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, are you in this for the long ball? Or were you only in this because you thought you were going to get the Lamborghini and the chick like we were talking about earlier? Like, really, like, how committed are you?
Yeah.
And I think some guys
Yeah.
go, I just want to go to jujitsu so I can wear the Chewjitsu t-shirt and make people think I'm tough. But then
Yeah.
other people are like, no, I actually want it for me, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
that's a really great pivot here because one of the things that I think you bring to the table that you do a great job of is connecting the dots where Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling, I used to have a t-shirt that said, it's what I do when no one's watching. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've heard you talk about like the brand you built, the followers you have, the YouTube channel, the podcast, the success you have, the black belts you've earned in many different aspects of your life. It wasn't all the highlights you show online. It was a lot of things that you don't like doing, things that are boring, things that are tedious, but those are the things that are necessary to get you the big wins. So
Yeah.
talk about the reality of like really building a successful brand and business and how it's not always rainbows and sunshines. It's like any relationship, ups and downs, good days, bad days.
Yeah, the relationship aspect I think is a good one to touch on because I think about it like the relationship with my wife, right? Like I'm lucky enough to like have a wife. I love being with her. And even on our bad days, like there's days where like if we like grump at each other or something, I'll be like, you know what? I love you and there's no other person I want to be with, but like right now you're on my nerves. You know what I mean? And just being completely honest with each other, right? Like it's like just having that separation. Like I'm not angry at you. I'm grumpy. So I'm gonna go to the gym and lift weights. I'll be fine afterwards, or maybe or maybe we're just hungry. We need to get some food in our stomachs, get hangry. But it's like that, right? So like if you can find that whatever you're doing, if you can find that where you're having those bad days, you're just like, I still want to do this, but today just sucks and it's fine because tomorrow can be better. But as far as the building of the stuff, I mean, gosh, there's so much, man. There's all kinds of random things that you have to get into. When you get into like the business side, it's like being a jiu-jitsu student all over again. You're starting, you don't know what the hell you're doing. I think it's a wise idea to go into it with like an open mindset and possibly looking for coaching. Like I know that for me, like if you don't have the money for coaching, then whatever. But I found a lot of value in finding people who have done what I want to do or in some aspect of what I want to do, right? And then like paying them. Like, hey, like can you show me some of the things like just like jujitsu? Hey, you've done this. Can you like show me all the mistakes you made so I can maybe avoid some of those and like speed up the progress that I've had? That was very helpful. But like, there's so many random things and tedious stuff that I don't like dealing with. Like, I don't like living out of a calendar. There's different types of people. Like, there's like the engineer type brain guy. There's like the artistic. I'm the artistic guy. I'm slightly chaotic to a degree. Like I just want to go do stuff and create stuff and whatever. And so like I have to keep that baked into the calendar where like I don't do the same things at the same time every day, but what I do is I have these blocks of time that can be used for a few different things. So I still keep a little bit of like wiggle room so I can play within that, but I have to like keep myself constrained to some degree because otherwise it's really easy when you've got so much stuff on your plate to like things going off the rails, right? Where you're like, oh, we're behind now. We haven't done this, or this, and like now we're in crunch, right? So don't like that. My calendar is like, you have to look at it every day. This is something like I resisted for a long time. Actually, I absolutely hate it, but it helps me like not drop the ball on things. And there's all kinds of skills that you have to develop, like delegation. Delegation, I don't know about you. Delegation is like the hardest thing ever. How do I take this stuff that I know how to do or that I know needs to be done and get you to do it and then be okay with you messing this up for a while like you figure it out. Like it's tough. And then even going back to like the building of a brand, right? Like when I was like first started making videos and writing stuff, like nobody was really watching it or listening to it, right? It was more of like you're developing like your ability to present information, and then eventually it sort of grew into something. But in the beginning, like nobody was really paying attention to it really. In today's culture, right? This is something what I was talking to one of my young guys about because he made a post and it seemed out of character for him. And with the algorithms and stuff the way they are on Instagram, Instagram especially has changed a lot over the last couple of years. Like, unless you're willing to post some really like what would you say the word would be very like polarizing or whatever kind of content. A lot of times it's like I think the stats are like your organic reach is somewhere like 0.5%. Basically something like it's really low. So basically they want you to pay to play. now every now and then, if you want to, like, if you make a post, sometimes it'll get some traction, but most of the time it's very small in relation to the amount of followers you have, unless like it's either catches someone's attention and it gets some traction, or in some cases it's very like polarizing. And you see this thing where the contents just become so gross, where it's like everything's either something political, something very like aggressive, nasty, whatever, just to get some eyeballs, or it's a hot take of a hot take of a hot take of a hot take, right? Like, it's like so and so said this, and then like, it just kind of goes down. And then like that stuff is like what's trending or whatever. So anyway, I'm just kind of rambling or whatever at this point. If there's something specific you'd like to talk about, let me know. But with the building of a brand, there's these constant adjustments of things where once you figure out something's working, then especially with the platforms, you have to change, which is why you don't want to spend all your time on those platforms anyway, and you actually want to create a business on the back end, opposed to like, my business is Instagram or TikTok or whatever. That's a bad idea. So yeah.